two really quick questions, please. Go ahead.
Let's say President Biden did absolutely everything that you're calling for. Exactly how long? Weeks, months? Exactly how long would it take for prices to go down at gas stations and Americans to notice the difference?
Well, I have suggested, and I think Senator Cruz did as well, that when the signal is sent that this administration recognizes that domestic production, our own energy, is an asset and not a liability, that then sends a signal to the markets that can be real, that can be immediate, and can be transformative. That sends a signal to investors that have been holding back. That sends a signal to those who have said, and I don't think that it's going to be cost economic to go forward with this particular lease, because every indication that we're getting from this administration is as soon as I take step one, they're going to shut me down. So that can be immediate. That signal can make a difference. And all it would take is President Biden to stand in front of a microphone and say, given what is happening in this country, the unprecedented place that we are at today, the impact on everyday Americans, I've got an obligation to say Americans are going to come first and American energy production is going to come first. He could do that today. Go ahead.
For Senator Cruz,
Go ahead.
What about the dynamic we hear from independent market analysts that the biggest, most primary factor in holding back domestic production is this investor sentiment saying, you know, things are pretty good. It's pretty good to be in the oil business in Texas right now in terms of profits coming in with these high prices, and they don't want to hear about capital expenditures to ramp up production.
That's simply not accurate. I talk to oil and gas producers in the state of Texas every week, sometimes every day. Today, I was visiting with the CEO of a major pipeline construction company based in Texas. They said in the last year and a half, their revenue from pipeline construction has dropped two-thirds. Dropped from $900 million to $300 million. And the reason is simple. They said you can't get a damn permit. You can't build a pipeline. And so, and by the way, they also build solar panels. They said they can't get those built either. The amazing thing is this administration, their policies are hammering the energy industry. I was out in Midland, Odessa, the Permian Basin, incredibly rich petroleum reserves, able to power America's needs. The folks there, they want to drill, they can't get capital because this administration has succeeded in drying up capital where the banks, the big banks in Wall Street, this administration has pressured them and they're out of the business of loaning for new production. You can't drill if you don't have the capital to drill. Just yesterday, I and other members of the Foreign Relations Committee had coffee with the Prime Minister of Greece. We talked about the war in Ukraine. I asked, what can we do to stop Putin? What would be effective? He said, America needs to produce more oil and gas, and we need to buy more oil and gas from you guys. It ain't complicated. But this is deliberate. And by the way, Biden told you he would do this on the campaign trail. He promised, if I'm elected, I will shut down drilling. I'll end it. And so everyone in the corporate press that says, well, gosh, this is other factors. You know, my favorite talking point from the White House that they say from the podium is, this is just greedy oil companies. You know what? Fine. Oil companies are greedy. You know what? They were greedy when it was $2.09 too. Under that theory, a year and a half ago, oil companies didn't want to make money, and suddenly they do. It's absurd. This is what Biden promised he would do, and it may be the only campaign promise he made that he's actually delivered on. And there's a cynicism. Number one, they think the American people are stupid, that they don't understand this is deliberate. But number two, they're willing to say they don't like the choices you make. Some of you may drive a pickup truck. Some of you may drive a Suburban. And this White House says, we don't like your choices, so we're going to make it hard for you to pay your bills. We're going to make it hard for you to feed your family. We're going to make it hard for you to pay your rent, because if it's so hard, you'll suddenly wake up and say, I need to buy me a $100,000 electric car with a battery made in China. And you know what? That's not Joe Biden's decision to make. The American people ought to make a decision about their own families, and this is cruel and it's deliberate.
Thank you all. Thanks, Ted.
Thank you.